Ich gehöre längst nicht mehr zur Welt der Sterblichen. Ich fürchte hier nichts und niemanden. Willst du wissen, wer ich bin? Ich bin Vegeta!
Hello guys, this is Shockwave King, and we are back here once again. And yes, you saw the title of the video. I was never aware this chapter dropped, but after 12 decades, 12,000 years, Berserk is back. And I don't know if it's gonna be like a normal thing, a couple on the channel or not, but this is a fantastic chapter. This is an excellent chapter. It is a chapter so great I had to make a video immediately, and I do stress immediately this video had to be made because the magnitude, the weight of this chapter for Guts, Skull Knight, and everybody around, it's too much. It is too much to handle. It's too much. But the chapter starts off where we last left off with our daring and unstoppable hero, Guts. Damn, I forgot to play this game. Guts, where the dwarf activated the Berserker armor. After he activated the Berserker armor, Shuriken, that witch that was flying around following them, they're just like, she's like, what are you doing? What do you do? Try to torture Guts? Is that what you try to do? You know, you're doing the torture. They're like, the dwarf's like, nah. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to show him a blood memory that's seeped into the armor from the previous user. And we get that flashback, man. We get that flashback. The artwork in this chapter is excellent. Shit, Mira's artwork always been great, but this is a different breed. This is a different breed of artwork altogether. It's just like we're top of the rock, really. So what we get to see is what seems like another eclipse, but before in the I forgot the king's name that we learned about in the Golden Age arc. I don't think we ever learned what his empire is called, but that came from the Golden Age arc. I guess sure it always was speculated there had to be another eclipse before the one that Guts and Skull Knight ran into, of course. But in this case, this eclipse is 100% different because you look at it. I don't know what that exactly is in the background, but it looks like that could be the well of souls that showed up doing the what was that guy's name? Well, it's been around since I've been Berserk. Oh yeah, the Count. Remember the Count? And when the Count was about to get killed, and he had to decide to sacrifice his daughter or not. You remember when he chose to not do anything and he chose to die, and his soul went to the well of souls. That exact thing is happening in the background of this flashback of the previous user of the Berserker armor. And not only that, it's just we zoom in on these 5 entities, and we get the other 4 previous members of the God Hand, which once again, Kentaro is back up to his old schemes again with these designs. These are interesting. There are 4 new ones, and there's one that looks like Ganishka, but I can't confirm that or not, because that's not like Ganishka. It looks like a combination between Ganishka and the what was his name? That dragon, Grundle. No, not Grundle. The apostle that's a part of Griffin's crew that could turn to that rock dragon. Him. Look, guys, it's been a while. I'm not a Berserk connoisseur like I used to be. It's been a while. But it was that guy. It looked like a combination between Kanisha and him. And there's one that's like super skinny and bone-like, and then there's like a female-looking one that looks like there's just nothing but breast onto it, and it's just, I think I'm forgetting what the last one looks like. And then of course you have this all-star member Void in the middle. And that's all we get to see. Then it cuts away, and Guts, and then I think the Archmage says the blood memory really does resonate with Guts, and he breaks out of. Now I forgot to mention earlier. At the beginning of the chapter, the dwarf, when Guts is about to go ballistic in the Berserk armor, he hit some chains and it released some chains in the Guts that restrained him from attacking anybody. And that's when Shuriken asks, like, what are you doing, and things like that. But in this case, after that part, Guts actually breaks out of it. He breaks out of the chains. And the Archmage says, oh, the memory must really measure him. And then out of nowhere, he stops. And he looks at his hand. And he sees a woman shows up. And it's like this woman is dying. And it's obviously a previous widow of the Berserker armor, which we all know was our boy Skull Knight there. And this woman seems like to appear to die in his hands. And then just like, Guts stopped for a moment. And it's like, oh, he's stopping out of nowhere like he died or something. And then that's when Shirake was just like, I can bring him back. Well, that's when they all realize that Shirake can bring him back, or tell Shirake to bring him back. And Guts comes back to reality. And then it's basically unofficially confirmed of who Skull Knight is. And then Skull Knight says, finishing off the chapter, that what you saw there was the end of a foolish king. And like he says something else, and it pretty much ends there. But the Mat 2 to chapter is massive. It's pretty much unofficially confirmed who Skull Knight pretty much had been. Yeah, his name was like King Garlic. That guy. Well, I think I butchered his name. Yes, he basically unofficially confirmed that's who Skull Knight is. Pretty much. Because it is confirmed the last person to use the Berserker armor was Skull Knight. And yeah, it was Skull Knight, especially according to Zod and everybody else. And if that was the case, then it only could be King Garlic that, if that's the case, then Skull Knight has to be King Garlic by default, pretty much. There's no other option. There's no doubt now who Skull Knight really is. Now, how do you get to the way he is because he should have died. But potentially that there could have been another Skull Knight type person to save King Garlic / Skull Knight. And the reason I say that is there's still a massive gap in time, because even though in the previous chapter, like 361, well, just like, oh, this armor pretty much was keeping you alive when they first met the Doors. It never did discuss how did King Garlic go from dying in Berserker armor to Skull Knight himself. You understand the armor keeps him alive, but it had to be an entire process where he dies in the Berserker armor, someone take the Berserker armor off his dead body, and then store it somewhere, and then put his body into the new armor. So it's just like, there's still questions, there's still memories, and there's still questions that need to be answered. But this chapter is fantastic. I was not expecting the Berserk chapter to be this great. I really was expecting Guts and Skull Knight to go back on the road again with Puck, but it's just nah. But I take this. Excellent exchange. But as far as what happened, that's pretty much what happened. There was a lot of like double page spreads in the chapter, so it's not surprising that, as in story-wise, didn't go that much further. But I'm excited what I got. Find the fact that Skull Knight is pretty much King Garlic is quite manipulative, but it also brings a lot of questions. What happened to the previous other 4 members of the God Hand, and why were they replaced in the first place? Now, we could argue that Skull Knight was a beast in the Berserker armor, and when King Garlic goes ballistic, it put Guts to shame. Because sure, we have seen Guts mad, especially in the Black Swordsman arc. I mean, we have seen this, but we haven't seen Guts go like full ballistic. I think the closest we got was when the first eclipse happened. Yeah, pretty much. That one moment after he chopped off his hand, that is like the furthest we've seen Guts go like full on. Everybody's going to die tonight. But back to the whole King Garlic flashback with Skull Knight. It does bring up some questions, because when a woman dies in his hand, it is that same mark that Guts have on his neck that shows him in the background. I can't tell if that's water or like grass on fire in the background. I can't tell what that is, but that symbol is there in flames. And even in with this entire flashback, it still brings up more questions of like, who are the 4 God Hand members? Who is Void? Because there could be a chance that King Garlic and Skull Knight already know each other. King Garlic and the Void already know each other, but it's just, I mean, it could be and it could be not. It could go either or, because it really does make you wonder what happened to the rest of them. Like, you got some cool designs, but it's whether that they went somewhere else or they're actually dead. Now, I'm going out, putting out $5 that King Garlic was a beast. He was a savage, and he put them down. but it's just there's still like a massive gap in time that is missing. And also, why out of all things randomly does the dwarf want to show Guts? Because like first people think, oh, you like a guy came up with a theory that Guts Berserker arm gonna change from black to white. It was gonna be this whole thing. Sorry for the phone. It's gonna be this whole thing where it's just like, oh, it pretty much, since Fermento is already pretty much a dark blackish purple, it's gonna have Guts be like an all white. Sure, that could still happen, but in this case, in this very rare case, in this case, it's just like this is not a chapter for Guts to control the Berserker armor, but it does make you question why randomly out of nowhere does the dwarf just shows Guts this entire scene. Because you gotta wonder what type of relevance does it have. Does it prove that the whole thing that Griffin is not going to die, or the exact same results will repeat itself? Or could it be the whole thing with causality in Berserk, which I don't really care too much about that. Maybe I'm a simpleton. I don't know. But it could be the effect that what if the backlash and effects and everything that happened with King Garlic in the Void, what if that's still being felt today? What if Griffin is there for that exact reason? What if Guts is there for that exact reason? The reason why these, because everybody's predestined, but why out of nowhere Griffin be destined to become an apostle to Fermento? Why? Not only just any apostle, become a member of the Godhead type of apostle. Why? Was he appointed? Was he seen? Does it have some type of connection to a bloodline? A lot of questions here, a lot of questions here, Sonny. I'm sure this is not like the other videos. I wish I could sit here and say like, it's highly detailed, I know everything. It has been a while since I've been inside Berserk, so I have to apologize for that, but this chapter did not disappoint. Kentaro did not disappoint. I gotta tip my hat to him, because it's just like, sure, probably like only 2 minutes in real Berserk time has passed, but sure golly, we sure did get a lot. And I sure did love what we got. And also bring the question, did King Garlic ever have a child? Because now I don't believe that King Garlic is somehow time traveling man. He could potentially be Guts' father. No. But it could be a chance. Because when you saw that woman in Guts' hand, in King, I forgot. Now, a person put up an image like a while ago on Instagram showing off the chapter. I went looking for the chapter, but there was no chapter there. Also, I don't know what this chapter is called, chapter 382 or 381. I'm getting two different things. Manga calcul. No, I think it's 61. It has to be. At least I believe. Yeah, it's like 61. Because pretty sure on that manga I'm pretty sure on that website I use, pretty sure that I had that missing chapter not supposed to be there. So that's probably why. But even then, that still wouldn't mess with the numbering. So it is what it is. Whatever the title of the video is, you know what chapter number it's supposed to be. But it's just I don't know. I think there's still blowbacks from that. Cause sure, it's just like you still have Skull Knight that is there, and sure you still have the Void that is there. But it's kind of like, because of this whole causality thing, it's like nothing Berserk has changed. The 100-year war. What makes that pretty much any different from that conquering conquest that King Garlic went on? How's that any different? If we look at it, they're pretty much the same in my opinion. They both went through a dramatic war. They both had an event that led up to them becoming basically a numb, dull human being, pretty much. Skull Knight King Garlic became Skull Knight, and Guts became whatever he is now, just numb, devoid of any emotion. It was just a very, very sad man. That is what he's become. That is what he's become. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, liked the video, and I hope you guys can go read the chapter on your own and enjoy the chapter as much as I have, because I find this to be a fantastic, excellent chapter of Berserk. I have not been this excited for Berserk since I had the idea that Guts, Skull Knight, and Puck could be on the road again. This is excellent follow-up. Also, one last thing. One final question: could it be a possibility? Not by a lot. Could it be a very strange possibility that King Garlic and Griffin is related? And it's just because the way that woman's hair looked, she wouldn't be the first blonde or whatever her hair color get revealed in the series. But I should have sworn like we saw a whole scene with Guts paused. He was looking at his hand, and then it switched over to like King Garlic, and he was just like, I should have sworn that was Griffin in his hands. I should have sworn that's who that was, but it wasn't. It was the woman. So we don't know if King Garlic had any children. We don't know. And that's the thing. I also do have a theory. The entire eclipse thing is the reason why King Garlic Empire is on the ground. Cause like just like with the whole sea of blood that happened after the whole eclipse, and the Holy Iron Knight showed up afterwards. I'm pretty sure the exact same thing happened with King Garlic, but it just got buried. Quite coincidental how the same kingdom that Princess Charlotte is a part of, the exact same one that's over King Garlic's territory. That's quite interesting, and also quite strange that that's quite interesting. Not only is that a kingdom above King Garlic's old empire, it was also pretty strange that that's the one that Griffin was trying to get a position in, and potentially could have became king if it would have had a relationship with Princess Charlotte. I'm not saying that Griffin could be related to somebody from the God Hand, because like it seems like there's still like a lot of backlash from what we've had more backlash from whatever happened between Skull Knight and the Void than anything else in the series. And sure, Skull Knight did make things worse with cutting open Ganiska and releasing the I forgot what that ram called onto the normal world and fusing it together. Sure, but yeah. Cause you can argue that Guts is not meant to exist. You can argue that, in my opinion. Cause the way Guts he should have died. Even Gambino's just like, you should have died. You killed her. And it's just, he's just, One of the reasons I like Guts so much because he's like in that position where, he really doesn't have no reason to live. He really doesn't. He has no family. Don't really have too many friends that are still alive. But it's just, I blame the Band of Hawks for that, but I have my own personal opinions about that one. It's very interesting, because Guts is not a such, because like you look at it, Griffin was destined to this and that. The apostle, the Bella Met was pretty much made for him, and this and that. And Guts was just basically a tool, and that's pretty much what Griffin used him as. But he cared too much for his sword, and when his sword left him, he couldn't do anything after that. He was so traumatized and hurt that the fact that Guts dared try to leave him, even though I treated him as a pawn, I can't believe he chose to leave me. It is what it is. But yeah, I enjoyed this chapter. It was fantastic. Some Kentaro greatness. I was not expecting this chapter to be this good. I was just expecting to walk into normal, classic, good old Berserk, but I got something more than I ever could have expected. But I've been both Shockwave King. I don't know guys' thoughts and opinions down below about the chapter. Hope you loved the video. I must destroy. That was late. But yeah, I've been Shockwave King and peace. This game's looking terrible. I haven't played this game in a while.